So this is the Xfinity Series predictions. So let's, of course, go through the drivers. So there's a lot of full-time rides that didn't have current plans. That's a lot of JD Motorsports car, Rick Ware Racing, Hattori, and Mike Harmon. There are rumored entries. There's Junior Motorsports with limited scheduled rides. There's full-time rides with multiple drivers, and a lot of that being like Barrichello, Kurt, Ellis, Lally, Martins, Mason, Massey. But let's just go through the full-time rides with full-time drivers. So these are the guys that are guaranteed to race every week. So we got Sam Meyer, we got Sheldon Creed, Brett Moffitt, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Landon Castle, Daniel Hemrick, AJ Allmendinger, Brandon Jones, Anthony Alfredo, Jeb Burton, Myatt Snyder, Ryan Sieg, Jade Buford, Jeremy Clements, Josh Williams, Riley Herbst, Stephen Parsons, Austin Hill, Jesse Iwuji, and Ty Gibbs. And Alfredo is the first person that interests me off of that list because, of course, he was in that Cup Series car last year. So let's go through the list. Same things again: team winner, team most improved, team sleeper, team driver winner, top 5 selections, driver sleeper, and most improved. All right, what team do I think is winning? It's the team that's going to have the highest average finish per race, so to say. To me, that's Colleague. Easy pick to me. There are Junior Motorsports are definitely up there. RCR up there. Our Motorsports now with Andy Alfredo and Brett Moffitt and Jeb Burton up there. But Colleague Racing to me is it. You got Landon Castle, who has plenty of experience. He's coming in. He's on a good team. He's going to perform well this year. You got Daniel Hemrick, who won Xfinity last year, albeit on a bit of a push of an overtake on the final lap. But he did win. He had a good year. He did win. And then AJ Allmendinger, the guy that literally won a Cup Series race last year. So you got 3 drivers that are all in contention to win 2 or 3 races this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Landon Castle wins a few, if Hemrick wins a few, and AJ Allmendinger. In fact, that's the expectation, that this team wins 5 races at least this year. You know, they had the same expectations as, I would say, Penske in the Cup Series. You expect to be racing high. You expect to win a few races every year, of course. Logano won some races. Blaney won 3. So, I don't remember what Keselowski did. Not sure. I think he won the 1 race in the middle of the year, which confirmed him for the playoffs. So they got like 5 or 6 wins last year. I think that's the expectation for Colleague. They have 3 great drivers. And to me, they're the best. Out of Junior Motorsports, they have 4 drivers, but I think the 3 drivers at Colleague are going to outclass the 4 drivers there. Our Motorsports has 3 drivers, but I think the 3 drivers at Colleague are better than the 3 there. RCR has 2, as you mentioned, and yeah, a lot of they're going to do better than the single car teams. So Colleague Racing is the team to beat for me. Now the team that is most improved. Now it's kind of hard to pick this one. Because there's not a whole lot of teams that can be most improved. But I'm just going to say Junior Motorsports. Now, this is interesting because what exactly does most improved mean for Junior Motorsports? To me, that's a championship. If they win a championship this year, then I think they improved the most because they didn't win a championship last year. They got Sam Meyer, they got Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, Noah Gragson. All 4 of those drivers can slightly improve this year, and that'll be enough for the team to be most improved. Like I said, there could be a single car team, but how much exactly is that a single car team being most improved? Say if Jesse Iwuji does really well this year, how much of that is the team being most improved compared to Jesse Iwuji being most improved? So it's kind of hard to pick. I would say maybe our Motorsports, but they weren't exactly what they were. Like, they didn't have the 3 drivers like they did last year, so that's kind of a cheat. So I'm just going to say Junior Motorsports, but take that with a pinch of salt. so to say. Xfinity team sleeper. This team, I think, is going to show up when maybe they weren't expected. And it's actually a team that doesn't have any confirmed plans. But if they do go in, I think it will be JD Motorsports. Like I said, they have the 4 full-time rides that haven't been occupied yet. If they are occupied, then I think it will be them. If they aren't, then maybe a sleeper team will be Our Motorsports. In fact, I might just change it to Our Motorsports now because, in fact, I will. So, sleeper team, I'm picking Our Motorsports because, and I talked about this when I did the news on it last episode around, if you want to check that out. I really like Brett Moffitt leading this team, being the voice of the team. He's done it before. I really like Jeb Burton, being a guy on this team. And then Anthony Alfredo, who hasn't even had a full-time ride in trucks or Xfinity, yet he got a full-time ride in Cup and crashed a lot of cars. I really look forward to what he can do on this team. So I'll say this is the sleeper team then. Our Motorsports with the sleeper team. So now let's go into driver winner. Who do I think is going to win the Xfinity Series? And this right here. Now, I haven't checked the odds. I don't know exactly what the odds are. I'll check them now. But I am picking a guy on Colleague. So is that really a surprise? I don't know. But the guy I'm picking is not the guy who won last year. It is Landon Castle. I am picking Landon Castle to win the whole thing. There's not odds yet. But I'm picking Landon Castle to win the whole thing. First off, so you might be saying, oh, that's crazy. You're picking a guy that hasn't even raced in a while. Okay, hear me out. This is the guy that has Cup experience. He has Xfinity experience. He has truck experience. He has experience in other NASCAR series that people don't even know. He's done it all. He has 140 Xfinity starts. He's done it all. And so experience and speed is not the issue. Think of it almost like Matt Kenseth coming back to replace Kyle Larson a couple years ago. Except they're in the best car. What if Matt Kenseth replaced Kyle Larson on the Hendrick car that won the championship? How would Kenseth perform? Because Kenseth, he did his thing at Chip Ganassi, I think. I think that's what it was. I'm not sure. I've had a 13-hour day. But he did his thing. So, this is same, what if Kenseth replaced Larson last year in that car? So like I said, so that's my analogy, so to say, on why I think Landon Castle is going to win. Like I said, it's probably not going to happen. If you had to pick a Colleague driver to win a championship, most people aren't going to pick Landon Castle. But I really like it. I really just like Landon Castle this year. So that's who I'm picking to win. The other options, Noah Gragson, of course. He's always in contention. Brandon Brown, this is an interesting one for a lot of people. But I like him this year. And then Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed in the RCR car. He's always up there, it seems like. Even in the championship race last year at Phoenix, I think, what was he, third? But he wasn't even in contention for, the championship. So, yeah, they give the guy some credit. Sheldon Creed always performs well. So I think he's a potential option. And then A.J. Allmendinger, the other Colleague driver, is there as well. So those are my 5 options for top 5 drivers. Now, what driver do I think is going to be a sleeper this year? There's a lot of good options, but I am going to go with Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is my sleeper because he's getting a full-time ride. He's at Joe Gibbs, of course, related to Joe Gibbs. And then he's just a young guy. I think he's like 19 or 20, something like that. So, he won a race last year. In the beginning of the year, too. Which is crazy. So, yeah, I just like Ty Gibbs as my sleeper. I think he's going to have a quiet but good first year at full time. So I'll pick Ty Gibbs. And then finally, my most improved driver. And there's a lot of options, but this one's going to a young guy who has had some up and down, some rocky situations, and that is Ryan Vargas. He is my most improved driver. I think he will do his thing. It could also be Riley Herbst. I like Riley Herbst as well. I'm not actually sure if Vargas is confirmed yet next year, but I would assume that he is. And if he is, then he will be my most improved driver. All right, finally we have Cup Series. So we're going to talk